Hey, and thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how we took this ordinary side table and transformed it into a piece that has a lot more character, kind of an old world layered paint look. I'm also going to reveal one of my secrets to creating an authentic chippy paint look on a piece of furniture, so stay tuned. So the tools and supplies I'm going to use for this piece are, this is my plan anyways. Hopefully it goes good. My plan is to paint the body of the piece, and then I'm going to strip the varnish off the top and reseal or restain it to a darker walnut color. So keep this dark top and then paint the bottom. And then for the body of the piece, I'm going to use a couple different colors. The main pieces are all Maison. Blanche is the brand. It's a vintage furniture paint containing chalk, the no prep, paint right over the surface, don't have to prime and sand before. If you don't have all these different paints, don't worry about it. You can have a gray, you can have a white, add a little bit of gray into it, just as long as you have some different shades of grays and whites and that kind of stuff. I'm going to strip off the varnish on the top of the piece, and to do so I'm going to apply stripper. If you use stripper, you want to wear gloves. If it starts burning your skin, you got it on now. So I'm going to, this stripper is just any kind of paint stripper, strips in 15 minutes. This is the brand is Clean Strip. Go ahead and pour it on here and brush it around. You just want to make sure and coat the front and the sides well anywhere you want to strip the varnish off, so you can get the varnish off there and get down to the raw wood to stain, because the stain won't take to the wood with that thick coat of varnish on there. So now that I've let my stripper set for about 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to go in here and start wiping it off. And as you can see, the varnish is coming right off. You can see right around here on the edges too how well that varnish is just coming right off from that stripper sitting on there. Now that I've got all the stripper off, I use a rag and several times to actually get all the residue and all the stripper off. I'm going to go back with a sandpaper. This is just 150 grit sandpaper. What I'm going to do, I want to rough up the top a little bit. The top on this was too nice. The wood was too pristine. I want this more rough, old world look. So what I'm doing is just going back with my hand, just kind of roughing up the edges, roughing up the wood. So just, it's not such a pretty, perfect looking top. My plan is to use this dark walnut. Well, sometimes when I do these, they don't always turn out like I had planned. So I have to just kind of go with the flow and change it a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try a sample of dark walnut on here, just with a rag, to actually see if it darkens it like I want. See, and I want something a little darker than that. You can still see too much of this kind of red showing through from the original stain on the piece. So I'm going to go grab another stain out of the shop. Alright, I'm back, and now I got a ebony stain. Alright, I can tell that's getting a lot darker. That mixed, the ebony stain mixed with the kind of reddish of the wood. The natural wood is going to give me more of a brown color, which is what I want. So you want to wipe the stain on. I'll let it sit for a few minutes and then wipe it off. So now that I've stained my top, I've let it dry, the top's ready to go, I'm going to start applying my paint to the body of the piece. And the first color I'm going to use is Francescan Gray. I'm going to apply that to the entire piece. I've shaken this up really well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my paintbrush with paint, and then I'm not going to paint it like normal painting. I don't think I ever paint anything like they teach you when I was a kid and my dad was like painting in smooth, even strokes. I don't think I ever paint anything like that. But so what I'm going to do, I have quite a bit of paint on here. Like it would drip off if I turned it down. So I'm going to dab the paint on like this, and that's it. I'm just dabbing it on, going it over one time, and it completely covers the wood. You can see it does 100% coverage. And then I'll just work my way around. You want to get in and around all these details. And if I start dabbing it around and seeing some of the wood show through and not doing 100% coverage, I'll go ahead and get some more paint on my brush. And this takes a little bit longer, but the good thing is it's only one coat. And what I'm wanting here, I'm wanting this texture that it's putting on the piece. When it has all this kind of dabs on there, all that's going to create texture, which is what I want. I don't want a smooth, even painted finish. I want all this kind of rough texture. Now that I've finished painting my piece, the overall color of the body, which I use Francescan gray, I've coated everything, the front and sides, the backs, all around, and try to get pretty much 100% coverage with the stippled on, really thick, caked on look. So now it kind of dries, start giving me texture. What I'm going to do now is come in with my second color. I'm going to use baguette on this one, and it's kind of more of a antique white, a little bit more yellow. And why I chose this color next is because it's my most contrasting color. So it's going to look kind of yellow compared to this. And I'm going to put this on next just in spots, and then I'm putting it on my second coat because I can cover more of it up if I need to. If I think I have too much, I can cover this up with my other colors. So it's just going to be one layer underneath. I've already shaken this one up. I'll just use the same brush. I'm not even rinsing out the brush. And we'll go in here. You'll see I'll just kind of dab it in just lightly in different places throughout. You don't want to do a whole lot. I'm not doing a whole bunch of texture like I did the first coat. I'm just lightly getting it on the brush and coming in here and just adding the color in to different spots. All right, now that I've let my second coat, or applied my second coat, which was the baguette, I'm going to go back with my third coat, which is Maison white. This is pretty stark, or pretty bright white. So what I'm going to do is I'll dip my brush in there like before, use my paint lid to dab it on there, get most of the excess off. Just go in here. I've already started applying a little bit of the white. So just go through here, apply the white. All right, now see, this is the fourth color. I'm going to apply as cobblestone, which is a little bit of gray, tan, grayish color. And I'm going to apply this. I'm using this color as my final color because it's the color that's most like my original color. It's a little bit different, a little more tan than the original Francescan gray that I put on there. So I'm using this color because I can cover up if I think I have too much of the kind of antique white yellow color or too much of the Maison white. I can kind of cover this up and this will blend in more. This is most like my original color. So I will do the same thing with this. Get my paint, use my lid to dab off some of the extra, and go back in here and apply the paint around the piece. Right, so now I've applied 4 coats, my base coat, and then 3 additional coats. Right here I was giving you a close-up shot of the way it looks now once I've applied all 4 coats, or all 4 colors. Okay, I'll give you a little tip that I like to do, one of my secrets for kind of getting a more real distressed look, and it might be too dry here, but I think it might be. But one thing I like to do when the paint is drying, there we go, before it's completely dried, so you have some of the thicker spots, I'll come back and wipe off, like right, and it just gives you a more real looking chippy look. Yeah, that worked right there. All right, now that our piece is dry, I'm going to go ahead and apply my wax. I'm going to use the dark brown. You could use, if you didn't want to change the color at all, you could use clear and it'd pretty much keep the same color, but it would still give you that protective coating that the wax gives the piece. Light brown would change it just a little bit, but I want to use the dark because I feel like with the dark top and the dark, using the dark wax will kind of really give it a darker look. And the good thing about the wax, it really blends this all together. Right now you might have a little bit of like this splotchy look, but when you use the dark wax on there, it just really blends it all together. So just apply the wax really liberal to the piece, and I work in sections, so you want to get it in all the nooks and crannies in there. Then come back with a paper towel and just wipe off as much or as little as you want. I'll go ahead and do the dark wax the whole piece, and then that'll pretty much be it for this piece. Well, I hope that gave you some information on layering different colors of paint, creating kind of that old world look, using wax, combining a wood top with a painted bottom. So this piece I really like. The style is kind of different, might not be our normal style, but once we kind of paint it, do a little bit of a old grungy paint job to it, we really like it. So I hope you learned something. And if you'd hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you next time. Alright, so here I am over in our shop. As you can see, we have pieces over here from painting project pieces to stuff going to the upholsterer to all kinds of stuff. I hope the traffic, the road noise is not too loud out there.